Hi everybody, it's Sandy and it is time for the full moon rose reading and a sort of a sense of an energy update as to what I'm sensing of the energies that are running just now. And this is such a fabulous time for creating new templates of being. Hi Jonathan, hello. This has been a powerful full moon for many people. Another one of those sort of contraction points that bring us into an expansion. I have noticed for a good number of months now that as we move in and out of each of these opportunities that come up. Hi Elaine. What that does is it brings us into another opportunity of really looking at what is happening in our particular landscape at this moment and what there is that's being called to change. Hi Jay. So it's a really fascinating time. Hi Jilly. To start to understand that actually we are being asked to get really familiar with the unfamiliar. Hi Alison. And this is a massive opportunity. You know, this constant shift that this year is offering us to really shift whatever is still stuck in our storyline, in our script, and start to open out a new opportunity and a new template. It's like shifting timelines. I don't know whether, hi Nikki, I don't know whether you've noticed too, but I found that even when it comes to this point in the day, I can intellectually know that I did X in the morning, but actually the time frame that I'm experiencing that in is not something that I can quantify in a way that I might have done before. So this is all of this sort of shifting matrix as I'm experiencing it on in our outer world is just way showing us back into this inner template, this template of the heart that is calling us to in every moment come from a place of conscious connection with our own internal landscape. So this moon was you know, yet another pulse point. It was a really powerful opportunity for us. It was a full moon in Scorpio, and certainly for me, this Scorpio full moon was sat exactly on my Mars, and I'm all air and water, me. You know, I have to work really hard. I mean, I'll turn it round. I've actually got the fire on today because it's a bit grey and mizzy here in the south of England today. Not terribly bright at all. So I wanted some fire energy. So this moon sitting on my Mars has actually been quite an interesting experience for me this week. There's been more and more processing of clearing and releasing old codings within the body, and I know for many people that like me has been showing up as hi Lizzie, as some health issues, and it's about steadily working through those and being able to be really present to what the underlying message is that's underneath what's actually presenting. And these are all opportunities for us to start to shift into looking at what we are wanting to manifest for our future template. What is it that, you know, how do you want your life to feel? This has been one of the things that's been really up for me this week. It's being able to look at visioning a future, but from a feeling perspective. how how do you want your life to feel, and allow yourself to be guided by that orientation. You know, in every moment we make decisions, every moment we make choices of action, and they all have an outcome. And when we can make the choices that are actually leading us into our preferred direction, we stand a better chance of slowly evolving into that experience of our lives. You know, whether it's wanting to feel more joy, whether it's wanting to feel more inner peace. I was working with a group yesterday out in Somerset at Stanton Drew. I'm not sure, it might be Bath, the Bath perimeter. And one of the things that was the takeaway for me was working with the 4-arm cross. And I mean, you can look at that as a 4 equal armed cross of what were these 4 choices of feelings that I actually want to really activate as being the keystones of my creation going forward. And I watched in meditation how that activates the golden heart, how that then activates the rose, the inner rose heart, and her manifestation, how she is that attractor factor that will allow us to bring in the experiences and the opportunities and the connections with more of that particular feeling. And I think particularly for women, this feeling process has been perhaps overlooked in the sort of goal-setting programming. Hi, Elias. That is been at the forefront of the whole of the these bigger drivers and teachers that set this very goal-orientated process. But now it's about how do I want, what is the feeling of that I'm wanting in this manifestation, because that's the piece that nourishes and nurtures me inside. That is the piece that lights me up and allows me to share more of that with others. So it's this interest. The interesting thing too is this particular full moon is what's called the Wesak full moon, and it's a very high spiritual peak in the year cycle, and it is the time when it is said that the pilgrims find their way to a hidden valley in the Himalayas called Shambhala, and it's there that the Christ, the Buddha, and Sanat Kumara bring the dispensations, the spiritual dispensations to humanity, to a thirsty humanity. And that is shared through the spiritual aspirants that have gathered in this sacred valley. And it is then shared to humanity. So in a lot of ways, this Wesak full moon, this full moon in Taurus, is seen as being the start point of a new year, of this new flow. So I think it's really interesting, this whole process of activation and how we activate ourselves in this pathway forward. What is it that we are calling forward? And I think it's Tony Robbins that said that, you know, your life is your art. So what is it that you are calling forward? What is it that is your heartfelt longing to experience? One of the questions that I've often asked is why, or what is it that you would not want to get to that last breath in your life without experiencing? What is the deepest longing in your heart that is the calling to activate in this lifetime? And it allows us again this place of focus, this place of seeing what is important in our lives and what actually is perhaps an old story, an old script, or it's something that actually we've moved beyond, that we have evolved beyond the desire for. So this refinement process, I feel, is going to continue on for the rest of 2019 for us. It's the energy of what's going to take us through to January 2020 and this intense conjunction with Pluto and Saturn. So this is a deepening process, a refining process, and it's all about frequency. It's like, what's the frequency that you're holding? What is calling you to refine, maybe in your food, because food is all about the frequency. You know, what frequency of the energy of the food that we are ingesting, that we are taking into our bodies. You know, is there something there that needs refining for you? Maybe it's another review of the things that you have in your outer temple. Maybe it's another review of the places where there's still an energy charge inside you, or perhaps there's still a wound or a memory that you've not processed from a previous relationship or a particular experience in your life. Each one of these waves of contraction and expansion that we're experiencing through the full and new moons is an opportunity, another opportunity to an in-breath and a review. Where am I in my own internal landscape at this point? And is there anything that needs to be refined and shifted here that is going to bring me more grace and ease, that is going to bring me more joy, that is going to bring me more self-esteem, and the greater sense of being in the flow of my life? When we get to this place of feeling that we are in the flow, we are in effortless manifestation, we are in effortless synchronicities. And I know that actually Alison had pointed out something about that, something that was spoken of, that is something that she's posted about today. You know, these synchronicities of in our what we're drawn to and how we come together to co-create. These have to be frequency alignments now that are a win-win, that bring a richness that is beyond the sum of the parts. Hi, Renee. So yeah, this is another amazing opportunity for us to get clearer and clearer in our own energy and alignment with life, and to be able to be as fully present as we possibly can be to everything that it comes up on the screen of our lives, because everything and everybody that we spend time with, or we have some even fleeting connection with, are messengers and carriers for us that mirror in consciousness exactly where we are in the moment. I know many of you have heard me speak of the work that I do with clients in houses. And for me, when I walk through that door, I get a snapshot of who you are in the moment, or who the client is in the moment. What's the storyline that's running? What's the energy that's running? What is the soul calling to heal, or to rebalance, or to reactivate? These are the key places now that are on this pathway of coming home. We all, in fact, are leading one another home, and this is the massive gift that we offer each other at this point. So, what might the roses have to share with us? Because it's very interesting. The last 2 or 3 readings I've done, the calling has been to do the reading after the energy of the exactitude of the eclipse or the full or new moon has passed. And there's always this build up of energy that is when the moon is plying, it's coming into the fullness or the emptiness of the new moon. Once we pass through the point, the energies open up. And that then leads us into an integration period until the next new or full moon. So there is something here about, yes, the contraction and the expansion that is offered as we come into that full or new moon, but it's how do we integrate, how do we optimize the energy that is being offered us through the wisdom that is imparted through that full moon or that new moon. So it's feeling to me that the roses are wanting to shift very slightly and offer us an insight as to how we can optimize that frequency, how we can optimize the energies that the new or full moon offer us. And again, I'm just following what feels to be the right alignment, and I think more and more we are being called to be incredibly present to what's unfolding around us, or what's shifting and changing. You know, when we make an arrangement to go do something or show up somewhere, there is a feeling, of course, of wanting to follow through. But sometimes we have to take a new reading. We have to put a finger on the pulse of what's actually showing itself in the moment now, and being open to trusting that and following it. So, are you drawn to Rose card 1? Are you drawn to Rose card 2? Or are you drawn to Rose card 3? So, if you were drawn to Rose card 1, she is Rose Bagua 9. And this rose has come up for us several times. And she is one of the Rose Bagua roses, and I think you probably remember me saying that the Rose Bagua is a series of 9 roses that came together to form a square, a box of 9 squares. In its feng shui parlance, it's a feng shui term of these 9 different aspects of our lives. And it's what is, you know, what's your heartfelt expression in these different aspects of your experience in the world. Those of you that work with the Rose Oracle will know that Rose 1 and Rose 2 are about clearing the alignment as above, so below. It's about clearing this inner template so that we can bring more light down through our bodies, and to be more present, and to be these pure acupuncture points of light in the world, and in service to our higher soul calling, and to what we can bring forward as illuminated truth for this part in the evolutionary cycle of the planet. This rose is the rose of, they're called, she's Rose Bagua 9, and she sits in the area of the Rose Bagua that is all about fame and illumination. She is the culmination of the journey of your experience in the world. So she's calling you to actually activate your greatest vision. She's calling you forward to step forward with courage into the template that you actually came here to hold. It's about understanding what your calling was, why you incarnated, and what it is that you've come here to share with humanity. And in my experience, that comes through a point of mastery, because we have to walk through our darkest shadow aspects. We have to be able to go into that dark to find our light. And only this week, the roses showed me how their roots go down into the Earth Star and into the Gaia Gateway and into that void energy in the earth to get down to the iron crystal at the core of Mother Earth, and through that find the grace of light and illumination to come back out and share that energy through an open heart. So this rose is calling us to own our mastery. She's calling us to show up and to shine in this rose heart, this beautiful place of being the rose and allowing the rose to be the illumined truth that you share in the world with others. So this rose, and the fact that she is such a beautiful peach tone, and the peach for me is the higher octave of the Divine Mother energy. She is just a sublime energy to work with. So if you were drawn to Rose Card 1 today, she is calling you to really have courage and step forward into the highest expression of your truth and your mastery, and share that with the world. If you were drawn to Rose Card 2, another Rose Bagua. So she is Rose Bagua 3, and she whispered to me that she's called the Many-Petaled Heart. Now, I don't know the exact name of this rose, but she's tiny. She's only about an inch, 2 to 3 centimeters wide for each bloom. And she has these tiny, tiny heart shapes in her. Each one of these petals is shaped like a heart. And she is Rose Bagua 3. And in the Bagua, she sits in the area of wisdom teachers. And, you know, the wisdom teachers in our lives come in many guises. They can come as parents, they can come as relationships, they can come incarnate, and they can come from the higher realms. And what she's asking you to do is to come into your sovereignty, come into your true alignment within soul self, and connect into your higher soul self for wisdom. That you first align with yourself within and come in to be your own best wisdom teacher. These roses are evolving to a next level in their work and their voice in the world. And even for me, there are new guides that I am working with for this next level of my own personal work. And I'm really noticing that actually this year for many of us, there is such a rapid upshift in what we're being called to master, being called to own, and being called to hold. So this one, if you were drawn to this rose, she is asking you to really connect with your inner wisdom. The inner wisdom, your inner higher soul self, is connected up through the higher dimensions of aspects of yourself that you have held from previous incarnations. And those different aspects of you are activated when you move into this fifth dimensional heart field, when you can anchor yourself into that aspect of you higher and higher aspects of your own field of frequency that is connected to the higher masters and teachers can come through. So she's a beautiful, beautiful rose to have in our work today. And if you were drawn to Rose card 3, she is Rose Angel 6. And Rose Angel 6 has come around many times for us before as well. She is the angel that sits on the throat. She is one of our guides and our reminders to hold to our inner truth, to be able to be a walking pathway of our own truth and our own light. This rose is an absolute beauty. She's luminous in her inner core and actually calls us to work with our throats. And the throat is the higher octave of the sacral chakra, this root of self-love, self-value, self-esteem. So when we bring that root in its vibrancy up through the solar plexus, up through the heart, and up to the throat, to actually share with whoever we are working with at that time, or we are in connection or relationship with, that we are able to speak and show ourselves. Hi, Heather. This is a powerful, powerful ally for us in this coming time. So, if we look at these 3 roses together, and we know that they actually all work together to form a pathway through for us. So this rose, Rose Bagua 9, says, walk with courage, masters. Step forward, own your mastery, and to take your magic and your medicine into the world. This rose says, become your inner master. Know yourself, and to your own self be true. And always first align with your inner truth before seeking external truth. Always come within and align, and then take the wisdom from there to know where the pure spring water is that you need to seek if you are looking for external wisdom and knowledge. This is calling us to be really, really discerning as to who and how we move forward. And this one, oh, hi Jules, hi Lisa. And this rose is just calling us to be so mindful of speaking our truth and totally being able to express the deeper truth that we know within ourselves. So there we are. And of course, if you've got the Rose Oracle deck, you can put these roses with some water and through what is known as epitaxy, you can translate the coding of these roses into the frequency of the water and make yourself an instant essence to be able to absorb the coding in and work with it at an ever deeper level. Also, they work brilliantly if you pop them under your pillow. And of course, you've heard me say before now that when I've been working with one or so in particular, I will often just tuck it, down my top, and I have been known to turn up in the store or in Waitrose with various rose cards attached to me. But they are pure love, so they are only wanting to activate for us or help us activate and dive deeper into the truth of who we are, and and to activate your rose heart. So there we go. There is our post full moon rose reading, and these are the energies that will be good to contemplate as we move into this integration period of stepping forward with courage to our highest vision for our lives, to come into self-agency and to absolutely get our inner wisdom before we look at any of the external teachings that we may be drawn to, but also, of course, honour the universal teachings that come up on the screen of our lives and our existence, and also to have the courage to speak. And sometimes what we have to say isn't necessarily easy, and we need the courage to speak. So there we are. Thank you so much for the hearts that have been coming up on the screen and your lovely comments. They are so appreciated, and I wish you a wonderful integration period in this coming time. And let's see where this next contraction and expansion energy takes us. And it's an amazing journey that we are on. So may you find yourself in flow. May synchronicity bring a real alignment for you in this coming time. And I shall look forward to connecting with you soon. Much love and rosy blessings. Bye-bye.